So as you might know, I used to own my own made-to-order clothing company. I designed and sewed all the pieces myself, and I would send them out to my customers. Most of my customer base came from Instagram, and I was very heavily involved in the Instagram sewing business community. And through that community, I met my friend Natalia. Not only is she on Instagram, but she's also on YouTube, where she makes tons of sewing related content. So if you somehow haven't come across her YouTube channel yet, I'll have it linked for you down below. So anyways, Natalia and I have been Instagram friends for probably a few years now at this point. But we finally got to meet each other in real life recently because both of us are now living in Southern California. Despite it being pouring rain, we had a really nice time in the LA Fashion District. We ended up at Mood. We also got ramen. It was awesome. So fast forward from then to about a week ago, Natalia texted me and she was like, yo, I've got a lot of custom orders on my plate. She essentially made a TikTok, I think like back in October for Halloween, where she recreated an outfit from Taylor Swift. In the video, she said that if anyone was interested in a custom Taylor Swift outfit for the upcoming tour, that she would be able to make it for them. And as it happened, that TikTok went completely viral and her inbox has been overflowing since. So she basically texted me to see if I would be interested in helping make some of those custom orders for her, and I was super excited. Of course, I said yes, and I just received a package from her so that I can start making one of the dresses. So in this package, we have one pre-cut dress that I will be sewing up. I'll post a picture on the screen of what it's gonna end up looking like. And then in addition to that, I've got 5 different serger threads. I'm so glad that she added these into the box because I have never made anything pink in my life. I don't wear pink, so I don't have any pink thread. So yeah, it's perfect that she added these in. Natalia also has a sewing pattern for this dress as well as a full tutorial, so I'll have all of that information linked down below for you if you're interested in making it as well. Now, this dress is full of sequins, which means at the bottom of this bag there are a ton of little sequin pieces. If I'm being honest, I am not ready to let these sequins run loose in my sewing studio, so I'm not gonna sew this up today. I don't really ever work with like sequins or glitter, and although I'm very excited to, my sewing studio is pretty tidy at the moment. So I'm gonna keep the materials in this Ziploc bag until I'm ready to sew it, and I will see you then. All right, you guys, today is the day where we are working on the Taylor Swift custom order for Natalia's business. That means we are opening up this beast of sequins, which I'm a little apprehensive to do in my sewing studio, but that's okay. I'm very excited about this. That also means that it is time to rethread my serger machine, so let's get into it. Thread is all prepared and now it is time to get sewing. I'm gonna start by taking all of these lining pieces and serging them because look at how much they fray. It is a lot. It'll be so much easier to work with when these are serged, so we'll start with that. All these pieces are now serged and prepped. So what I'm gonna do is basically pin them together and sew it up. This is just the lining at this point, but I wanted to get the lining done first. Because this fabric is super slinky, it's really important that I line up these notches so that everything is coming together properly, but because I just serged it, it's kind of hard to find where those notches are, but I swear they're in here somewhere, so I gotta find those real quick. Oh, here's one, I think. Okay, so I'm using clips instead of pins just because it's a lot less likely that I'll damage the fabric this way. It's super easy to get snags in this kind of lining material, so I'm just taking my time with it. All of this is going to be sewn at a 1/2 inch seam allowance, which is pretty forgiving, so if you end up purchasing this pattern and you decide you want to make it, You can make it in the size that you think it should be, and then if it didn't fit for some reason, you have 1/2 inch seam allowance everywhere to be working with, which is awesome. I feel like larger seam allowances are pretty important for things that are this fitted. Normally, I'm working with something that's more like 3/4 of an inch seam allowance. I'm really happy with how all the serging went on this. My Baby Lock Accolade is a total champ. I was literally just sewing a pair of denim shorts before this, and without even having to change any of the settings other than, you know, switching out the serger thread, I was able to sew this super slinky fabric right after the denim, and that's such a relief when you're sewing a lot of clothes. That way you don't always have to be tinkering with the tension because my machine has auto tension. Okay, the first one is ready to be sewn, and we are going to get to it. Okay, I'm feeling very excited because that seam sewed up like a dream, just like the serging. I can be a little bit hesitant when working with fabrics that I'm not super used to. My machines are champs, so I feel like I should be less hesitant and give them more credit because they do such a good job all the time. But yeah, I think that machines can really make or break your experience working with certain fabrics. So if you have a lower end machine and you're working with slinky fabrics and you're having a little bit of trouble, don't be too hard on yourself, because honestly, working with slinky fabrics and lower end machines is just pretty difficult. It might have nothing to do with your actual skill and everything to do with the machines that you're using. However, with that being said, it is super important that you're using the correct needles. For example, with this fabric, I switched over to a microtex needle. Basically, different types of needles are shaped differently at the point, and if it's too thick, for example, it could ruin your fabric when it punches through it. It could make bigger holes than are necessary. It can make snags in the fabric. Or on the other hand, if your needle is too small, for example, and you're pushing through really thick fabric like denim, then you run the risk of breaking your needle. And if you've ever broken a needle before, you know that it is no fun and it is very scary. I'm honestly super afraid to have a needle go through my eyeball for some reason. I don't know of anyone who's had a needle go through their eyeball, but I'm worried about that. So when we sew these sequins later, I am absolutely going to be wearing glasses because I don't want a needle in my eyeball, I don't want sequins in my eyeball, and I have a feeling they are gonna fly everywhere. So I'll be using glasses because better safe than sorry. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this lining now. Okay, the lining is all prepped and now it is time to sew the sequins together. This fabric is instantly leaving sequins everywhere, just as I had suspected, but that's okay. I have a vacuum cleaner. This fabric is really pretty. I'm very excited to work with it. They're falling everywhere. Here's the heart ready to go on. So cute. Oh my gosh, check out how cute this heart is. I'm so excited. I'm going to pin her up now. You guys, this pincushion is a lifesaver. I highly recommend it. I actually got this as a gift from someone, but I had originally told her that I wanted it and she found it on Amazon for me, so it's pretty easy to find. But I highly recommend it. It makes it so convenient to take out and to put in pins. She's almost ready. All right, check out that beauty. She is ready to be sewn. All right, you guys, like I said, the glasses are going on for the sequins. You guys, I have never sewn with sequins before, but holy shit, I might be converted. I don't know what it is, but I had so much fun sewing this. It was so much fun. I don't know. I'm not normally like a sparkly person. If you've been following my sewing journey for any amount of time, you know that I love my neutrals. And I feel like the only color I really reach out into is purple because I like the color purple and I think the color purple looks good on me. But wow, this was so fun. I might be fully converted. I actually saw someone recently who has a similar complexion to mine over on Instagram wearing the color pink, and she looked damn good in it. So I might have to try sewing myself a pink garment because I'm having a lot of fun with this, and I would love to have a pop of color in my wardrobe. Also, for my birthday recently, my older sister got me an appointment to get my colors done, if you will. So anyways, I'm going to a color consultation specialist type deal, and they're gonna tell me what colors look best on my skin tone. It's probably not something that I would have paid for on my own, but I am really, really excited about it. So I will keep you guys up to date on if pink is one of those colors. And if it is, maybe I'll venture out. No promises though, I do love my neutrals. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and put these side seams together and keep on keeping on. All is going well so far, and now it's time to attach the shell and the lining with the basting stitch. I'm going to be doing that around the neckline as well as the armholes, and then the basting stitch will be taken out later. Okay, the lining and shell are attached, and now it is time to prepare the collar. Oh my gosh, you guys. Look at how freaking cute she is. This is awesome. I'm so excited. I've done a lot of the major assembling. I still need to put on the sleeves. I don't actually have any trim that's supposed to go around the heart, which would have been done in an earlier step. So essentially, I'm going to try to take this dress as far as I can without putting the trim on because the trim is still being sent to me. Natalia put in the order, but then come to find out a week later, there wasn't any more of that ribbon, and so it wasn't being sent even though she thought it was being sent. So anyways, I need to wait on that ribbon before I can actually finish assembling this dress. So the plan is to finish up the sleeves, and then at that point I have to stop so that I can get the ribbon, put the ribbon on, and then completely close the dress up. I'm gonna go ahead and work on those sleeves now, and then soon enough the ribbon will be here and we'll be able to finish the dress. Okay, so here are the sleeves. It's this really nice and fun sheer fabric. I really like working with this kind of fabric, and I especially like doing French seams with this kind of fabric because it looks so nice. The bottom of the sleeve is gonna be French seamed, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and we'll add a basting stitch to the top of the sleeve. That way I can gather it into the sleeve head and it's gonna look so nice. Okay, so it turns out that I actually also need that ribbon trim stuff for the edge of the cuff. So with that being said, I am at a good stopping point because I need the ribbon in order to continue. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop now, and I will see you guys when the ribbon has arrived. Good morning. The trim for this dress has arrived, which means it is finally time to finish this dress. And in the spirit of finishing a dress for Natalia's brand, I am also wearing one of Natalia's pieces, which I purchased from her a while ago, and I absolutely love it. It's her classic staple pullover, and I wish I had more of this fabric because it is so cozy. I would totally make an entire loungewear set out of this if I had more of this fabric. But anyways, I'm super excited to finish up this project, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. Alright, you guys, we are getting there. I have 2 sleeves finished as well as the entire bodice finished. Now all I need to do is attach the sleeves to the bodice, finish the zipper, and hem the dress. Then she's gonna be all ready to send to her new home, which is super exciting. So far, the dress has been really, really fun to make. The sequins pretty much haven't given me any issues, which I was a little bit worried about at first. I mean, I was wearing glasses at first so that sequins wouldn't fly into my eye or that a broken needle wouldn't fly into my eye, but I realized that it's actually not really scary to work with, and so I haven't been using the glasses since then. But I did have one needle break on me. It didn't quite break all the way, like it didn't snap off, but it did bend significantly. That happened right in the cuff area where there was quite a bit of fabric and sequins, so my needle probably just wasn't ready for all of that, but it was fine. I switched out my needle and it was great after that. These cuffs are super small. I mean, it's only big enough for your hand to fit through, so it's not very easy to work with in the sense that it's a really, really small space that you're trying to get under your machine, but it's totally doable as long as you have a little bit of patience. Overall, the process has been really fun and I'm very excited to finish this up. Alright, you guys, this dress is done and ready to be sent to its new home. I hope you enjoyed this sewing vlog as much as I enjoyed making this dress, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe for a whole lot more sewing content. I make everything from sewing vlogs to tutorials to how I'm designing sewing patterns and everything in between. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one.